everyone. Welcome to Icing Inspiration Livestream. My name is Hani. I'm founder of HaniAlas.com. I want to welcome you today to today's episode. We are going to make fall royal icing transfers. I'm super excited because royal icing transfers are something that I really enjoy making and using them in cookie decorating. Before we get started, I just wanted to jump into the comment section and just wanted to say hello to all of you. It's so nice to see you guys. Hi, Judy. Thank you for being here. Good evening, Lisa. Hello. S'mores. I love your name. Very tasty. Hello, Monica. Hello, Maria. Oh, it's raining in Connecticut. Hopefully it will clear up for you soon. Hello, Judy. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kathy. So nice to see you. Yes, I absolutely enjoyed making these transfers and can't wait to share all the details. Hello, Heather. Hello, hello. Good question. We're already jumping in. How long does everyone keep their transfers? Okay, this is a great question. You guys can actually join in. So put your answers in the comment section. I'm curious, how long do you keep your transfers? I will talk about transfers in a little bit, and we'll share my tips and tricks on how to keep them and how long do I keep them. Hello, Judy. Hello, hello. So Fire Chick, it's from Missouri. Great question. Thank you. Hi, Sally. Much cooler Manhattan. Yeah, I mean, as we are transitioning, most of us are transitioning to fall. So I think these transfers, this tutorial is going to be very timely, and you can prepare these now and use them later on in the season. Hello from Virginia. Hello, everyone. Hi, June. So happy to see you. So many of you. So I'm excited. Yeah, they do. Yes, Sal. Yes, I do agree. They keep pretty much forever. I will give you some tips and tricks on how to store them. I will also show you how I store mine and talk about that. So thank you for being here. Also, before I begin, I wanted to just remind you there's a ticker at the bottom. That's my website. You can also find a plethora of information there regarding to cookie decorating and recipes. And as always, there is a free PDF available for you guys in my coffee shop. Let me just grab the link so you can click on the link, and it includes everything that you need. Also, very exciting, I just released 10 transfer sheets for the fall, realizing transfer sheets, and they are 20% off. They're off, I think, till next Monday. I think it's next Monday, Yeah, next Monday. So you still have a couple days, but take advantage of this offer. And the link to that is also in the PDF. I just put the link to the live stream recap in the comment section so you guys can check it out. And let me take this off here. All right. So I see you, everyone. Thank you for being here. I see you coming in. Let me know how you like to store your transfers. Have you ever made realizing transfers? Do you have good experience? What are your troubles? Let me know. So today I'm going to show you, there are 10 transfer sheets in a set that I'm selling in my coffee shop, in a template shop. But today I'm only going to show you 5. So you get an idea how to create the rest. Okay, so let's see. I see some answers here. So, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You're making the meringue kisses today. Thank you. Yeah, I love meringues. They're the best. I love anything with egg whites I love, but meringue is I love meringues. So Linda stores her in dry, dark, and not too warm place. I have some since last year that looks like new. Yes. They do transfers. If you are not familiar with the term royal icing, like what is a royal icing transfer, right? We often just use the abbreviation RIT. So a royal icing transfer is basically royal icing that is dry, right? Anything that is like, but usually you can shape it, you can pipe it in different shapes on parchment or acetate or wax paper. And once the royal icing dry, you can peel it off, and then you can use this dry royal icing decoration to decorate your cookies, cupcakes, and even cakes. You can learn more about the different royal icing transfers and how to make them on my blog. I have really detailed tutorial about transfers, different transfers, how to create them, and how to use them in cookie decorating. Today we're going to make kind of like these are not 3D, definitely not 3D. Transfers can be also royal icing roses. Okay, so those are transfers, any kind of royal icing flower that you had drying and then you peeled it off from the parchment. That's a royal icing transfer. Okay, let's see. So June, I have royal icing spider webs drying. Oh, wow, yes. We will say a little prayer so they don't break. No, royal icing transfers, some of you probably have a love and hate relationship maybe with them, because they tend to break if they're like super fine lines. There is a risk of breakage, so you have to be kind of delicate with them. So try not to like put too much pressure on them and so on. But they are really, I love using them. Yeah, I agree, Sally. Spider webs can be quite tricky. I agree. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. So first, I'm gonna show you how to make acorns. I think acorns are perfect for fall. So this is the template, and I've got my template in a protector sheet. That's an acetate. You can see it's clear and smooth. If you don't have protector sheets, you can also use parchment or wax paper. The only thing is with parchment and wax paper, because it's paper, it will absorb some of the moisture from the royal icing, and it will get a little wrinkly on the bottom, so it can affect how the underside of your transfer looks. However, if you're working with small transfers like these, I don't think it really matters. If you're working on a larger scale, like maybe if you're making 2-inch transfer and you want to put it on a cookie, ideally you want to pipe them on acetate. Acetate well, if you're using acetate, it will take for transfers to dry. It takes a little longer because it's plastic, and the moisture has nowhere to go, so it just has to dry for a little longer. And to make these transfers, I'm using 20-second consistency royal icing, which is really great because you don't have to use different consistencies. Although for the cupcake and I will use one different consistency, but that's just for the cupcake for the swirl to get some nice dimension in there. So now I'm doing the stem. Again, this is 20-second. Stem is really optional, I have to say, because it's a little piece that can break easily. So you can add this after. It's not something that I just wanted to show you how you can make it. And now I let the stem crust. Also, the nut, that's the green part, it's crusted, and now I'm making this is called a cap, I think, right? So for this, I'm using dark brown. You can play with colors. You can do different colors, red, orange, or any kind of like fall color. Okay, so that's the acorn. And now let's do mushrooms. I love mushrooms so much. So these are really cute, super cute. Here I'm using, this is called pressure piping. Instead of outlining the cap, I'm using pressure piping to fill in. This is going to be also a bit faster. Transfers can be finicky. They can take a little time to make, but they are totally worth it. So you can see I'm doing 2 at a time. Depends on how fast you can work. You can do more. You can do the whole row of the caps, mushroom caps, and then do the dots, okay? But if you are slower, I would say take your time, because if you work too slow, your icing is gonna crust on you. And for this, you wanna work with kind of like a wet on wet technique when you're doing the dots, okay? And to make these colors, when I made these fall colors, I used ivory to mute the colors down. So I mixed my icing with red, or you can use also a little bit of brown if you don't have ivory. And I added some ivory or a little bit of brown, either pre-colored royal icing or food coloring. And it just mutes the color down and makes it more kind of like earthy and more wholesome. if you will. And these mushrooms are great for little deed. You can just pop them on a cookie and it just changes everything. Super cute. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. Oh, wow, you have the whole staff watching you. Hello, hello. Okay, let me just pause this for a second. Thank you so much for watching. That is so sweet. Thank you. Oh, you making the German buttercream. Let me know how you like it, if you have any trouble with it. It's so let me know. Oh, hi Jeremy. I was just thinking of you because I missed you in the last few live streams. So thank you for being here. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue with this mushroom transfer. And if you purchase transfers, I also included JPEGs, so you guys can resize them if you want to make them larger. These are not that large. You'll see me handling these in a few moments, and you'll see how small they are in my hand. So if you want, you can make them obviously larger. And I'm also waiting for the cup to crust, which will take maybe 5-10 minutes. And then I'm adding, what's this part called? Like under mushroom, I don't know. We know with the what are they, grills, or I don't know what it is. I don't know the mushroom anatomy. Sorry. Thank you, Amy. So you have a problem with red. Oh, hold on. Here we go. I have a problem with I have a problem with red changing colors and getting dark splotchy looking when it dries on my cookies. Yes. So I assume you're experiencing butter bleed. This is something that I think every cookie decorator. Raise your hand if you had buttercream happened on your cookies. So now we're I'm going to address that in a minute. We're going to do the stem. For this, I'm using brown. Again, I let everything crust before I did the stem, so you can see the definition between the layers. Now, when you have problem with butter bleed, there's so many different things that could be causing it. It could be that the cookie has a lot of excess kind of butter on the surface, or it could be royal icing recipe. It could be also like the ingredients in the royal icing, like meringue powder and stuff. So now once your mushroom dries, you can use edible marker. Today I'm using brown edible marker. This is a rainbow dust, and I'm just drawing directly onto the icing. Crucial is that the icing needs to dry. Okay, if your icing is not dry, you're gonna keep poking holes in it with your marker. How do you attach it to cookies? So you just use a little bit of royal icing to attach a royal icing onto the cookie, or you can use dry or wet on wet application. What dry on wet? Let me just bring this up. This is a really good question. I like this question a lot. So Delina is asking, hopefully you can see, how do you attach transfers to cookies? Okay, so you have basically two options. You can attach dry icing, royal icing transfer on a dry cookie, or royal icing or a cookie that you previously iced with royal icing, or you can attach dry royal icing transfer onto a freshly flooded or freshly iced cookie. The only thing is with this second option is that when your transfer is light color, for example, I made this mistake twice actually, twice if you can believe it. If you're icing, let's say I made can't think of the name now. I know I made panda cookies. So let's say panda cookies. Pandas are primarily white and black, right? So, and I placed it on a dark background, and so the dark icing kind of seeped through the white, and that wasn't ideal. So you have to kind of keep in mind that if your base color is darker than your transfer, it may not be good idea to put dry transfer onto the wet icing. If it's the same kind of tone, or there's not like too much of a difference in colors, it's okay to do dry transfer onto the wet. I hope it makes sense. Okay, so let's see if we have, is this buttercream icing? Samina, today I'm working with royal icing. royal icing. It's meringue or egg white based royal icing. It's not buttercream. However, you could make buttercream transfers too. The only difference is that with buttercream, in order for the transfer to kind of firm up, you need to put it into the freezer. Basically, piped buttercream flowers are buttercream transfers, if you think about it, but they are like 3D flowers. So today I'm working with royal icing. That's the medium I'm using. Lisa, I moved to a very humid area. What's the best way to store them? I also live now I live in Spain, but it's very humid. But in Pennsylvania, where I lived for 20 years, it was super humid. So you can get small food grade silica gel packets. They are filled with silica gel. You know, the stuff that you find in shoes, and they're like small. But don't use that. That's probably not food grade. So you can use that and store them, let's say, in a small container like this with a silica packet, and it will what that does, it absorbs excess moisture, because that's the biggest issue with transfers, moisture, right? Because once the moisture gets to them, the sugar starts dissolving, as royal icing is mostly powdered sugar. And also you want to store them away from direct sunlight. Sunlight will cause the color to fade. For example, I've had this happen. I made blue transfers and they were exposed to sun and they turned purple, which is not horrible, but if you want them blue, then it's a problem, right? So now I let everything crust. Now I'm finishing up with the final touch, just adding kind of like an outline on the bottom of the mushroom cap, and this will kind of be what you need to do. If you want to kind of embellish it with something else, you can, but at this point I think this is enough. And now we're going to do, okay, let's see, there are so many questions coming in, so thank you for sending all the questions. If I miss a question, I apologize in advance. Can they be, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for putting the links in. Thank you so much. Hello, Irma. So glad you could make it. Thank you. Where is the question? Oh, Kathy, thank you for the question. Can they be sprayed? Yes, absolutely. You can. If you're trying to, let's say you could even airbrush these. If you're trying to airbrush small pieces like this, I would suggest that you leave them on your backing material. I'm using acetate. Leave them on and airbrush them that way. But you could also paint them with luster dust after they are dry, or use edible glitter on them when they are wet. You can just use the spray pump or whatever medium you want to use. Use like food grade medium if you are planning on using these on cookies that you are going to give someone to eat. Okay, excellent question. I have clear mylar sheets and I use them to make my own stencils. Can I pipe royal icing transfers on them? Now, my brain is telling me yes, it's okay. And then I'm thinking, like, if the transfer, it depends on how thick your sheets are. If they are too rigid, if you can bend them, it may be hard for you to remove the transfers. So I have not tried this. Please let us know in the comment section. Have you tried this? Have you tried making transfers on mylar sheets? Let us know. Okay, I would love to know if you can actually remove them successfully without breaking. Okay, so let's move on. Let's do Cupcake. I love this one. So the Cupcake, this is such a cute shape. And again, I'm using 20-second consistency throughout this tutorial. However, for the swirl, I option for thicker icing, and you'll see why, because it's just going to make a lot of difference, and it will just make the cupcake really pop. How long do these last? So and I've asked you in the comments. So I have some transfers that are like 5 years old. Like Sally said, they will last forever if you keep them in a dry like area away from direct sunlight, like so, and yeah, they will last for pretty much forever. I find that over time they tend to lose some of the flavor. I often flavor them heavily with extract if I plan on, let's say, keeping them for a long time, if I'm making them in advance. So I will flavor them heavily, but I feel like over time they tend to lose some of the flavor. But so that's the only, I think, thing that I can like think of. But other than that, I mean, there is nothing that can go bad. I mean, it's just pretty much sugar. And if you are careful enough that you don't expose them to moisture so they don't soften, you are good to go. And you can make now a transfer for Christmas actually. So now I'm doing a little wet on wet. Basically, I did the liner and immediately I'm piping green dots, starting in the middle and then staggering the dots in the rows. Okay. Okay, so Maria, thank you for the reply. This is great because you've used Milo sheets and had no problem. So this is great to know. Now, after the liner rise or crust for like 10 minutes, you can add the detail on the liner. You can see about the row above. I'm doing a little experiment. I haven't finished these, so I will share the results with you soon. How that turns out. I used the Cupcake liner, and now we're going to add, starting in the middle, and then add more lines across like this. Thank you, Jeremy. So I know, Samina, you were asking about the recipe, how to make royal icing. I have several recipes on the blog. Jeremy just posted a link to my recipe. If you want to just start small, you can also look up a mini batch or small batch of royal icing on my blog, hanielas.com ticker. You can see the link is running at the bottom. And that recipe only includes a few, it's going to make a small amount of royal icing. So if you want to just try it, if you like it, you can just also use that recipe. And you can see here my icing is slightly thicker. It's not like stiff, but I would say like piping consistency. You can see the swirl curl clearly. It's not blending together. And it just makes like a whole lot of difference. And it's super fast. I have to say this is super fast. And the final touch, I have to say the final touch, can you guess what this is? Any guesses in the comments? So I decided to use cinnamon. So we are making fall transfers, and I felt like cinnamon was a proper way to kind of like really experience fall, because cinnamon, I feel like, is the spice of fall. So I added that to my transfer, and I will show you how to remove them from the acetate. But before we do that, I'm gonna just start with the paper cup. This is a coffee paper cup. And you see in my template, I've got there also like outline for the sleeve. So you can do the sleeve with royal icing, or you can do it after your icing dries and do it with a marker. It also works. And again, I'm using 20-second consistency royal icing here. Oh, you could also use cocoa. Absolutely, you could use cocoa, but I used cinnamon for this because it's fall, and I felt like cinnamon was the spice of fall. And now I switched to a different color. You can make these in so many different colors and just have them ready. You could also use these with like maybe you want to make, let's say, a bear, cute little bear, and the bear can be holding coffee. You can kind of place paws on the cup, so to make it like he's holding the coffee cup. And now you can do the white. Like I said, you can do a variety of colors. Oh, Linda, you're so sweet. Thank you. I hope you like it. I love my fresh lemon royal icing. It cuts down the sweetness, and it pairs nicely with almond cookies. And now I'm doing white. You could, even for this, like this is something that I don't normally do, but if you think about it, you could also add another transfer on top of the transfer that you are making. They're a little more complicated. For example, you want to make like a transfer with a logo or something. So you can create the logo before, have it ready, like let's say a little small round or something, and you can then pop it onto the wet icing. right after you ice this section. And yeah, so that's like you use another transfer to make like a more complex transfer. And now for those of you who want to complicate things, like I said, you could make the sleeve. You need to let the base layer, in this case the orange layer, crust. You see it's slightly still shiny. That means it's crusted, but it's not dry. And with these small transfers, it takes maybe 5-10 minutes for it to crust. And then you can pipe over. Use the template to guide you when you're piping the sleeve. So all your cups are going to be even. I'm going to show you 2 ways of how to make the lid. More complicated, that's the one I'm showing you now. And then like the easier way, which is going to be a bit faster. So this one, it's kind of like 2 steps or whatever, like a pyramid kind of a thing. And the other one is going to be more like, what's it called? The trapezoid? I think it's called trapezoid, yes. So I will show you how to do that in a second. And again, the bottom layer, the orange, needs to be crusted before you do the lid. That way there is a definition. And then you can finish the cup any way you want. You can, like I said, you could let it dry and use markers to make the sleeve, or you could skip the sleeve. I will show you how to make a cute little pumpkin. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sally. I'm so glad you like these. They're really fun. Yes, I also have that cutter. I have that cutter. Yes, it's a great cutter. I love it. So now same thing, but I'm doing this on white. You can see the difference. Like, you know, depends on what color scheme you're planning on working with, and you can just create different cups. What royal icing shapes would be good to use to decorate teacup shaped cookies for a spring decoration? What royal icing shapes would be good to use to decorate teacup shaped cookies? Well, first, I guess the teacup. Like if you have a teacup shape, maybe teacup. And what's the thing called that you pour the tea out of? Like tea kettle, I guess. Maybe what is it that you serve along with tea? Maybe some French macarons, if you have a cutter for that. Think about things that maybe look up. You could also look up tea parties. Or no, you have spring decorating class. Oh my God, I'm not reading right. Spring decorating class. I don't understand your question, I guess. What would be good to use to decorate? Well, royal ice, I don't understand. You mean like I mean, royal icing shapes. Yeah, teacup. I would use teacup. I would use the tea kettle. Maybe you could use like a nice, like I said, macaron. You could use maybe like a spring dress, like when you go to a tea party. Maybe look up like tea party patterns on Google and see what cutters you actually have, and you can kind of like use that as your inspiration. Oh yeah, tags. Oh yeah, that would be really cute. Teapot, yes, thank you. I'm like my brain is frozen. So now here's the trapezoid one, as I was mentioning. And now once it kind of dries or crusts, you can add another line across to kind of like make it look more real. Now to make the pumpkins, you can use orange and pipe kind of these 2 shapes, looks like apostrophe, and then let them crust for 5 minutes or so, and then you can pipe the middle segment and it will look just like a pumpkin. Okay. Oh yeah, rose. You could also use rose for the tea, kind of inspired cookies, flowers. Yes, thank you for all these ideas. And now once this crust, you can add a little stem with the green. And aren't these adorable? I love how these turned out. Super cute. Super, super cute. We have one more to do, and that's the coffee mug. Okay, so let me just remove this. And the coffee mug, it's super adorable because it just, yeah, just warms my heart, I have to say. It's so cute. Oh, Sally, you can definitely do it. I've seen your cookies. You are a master. You can absolutely do it. So again, I'm using 20-second consistency here. You're gonna need your scribe tool, kind of smooth the icing. I'm piping on directly onto the acetate. I have my template in a protector sheet. Irma, you can find my recipe. There's a ticker at the bottom of the screen. Hanielas.com. My recipes for royal icing are there. You can also try mini royal icing, mini batch royal icing recipe, or I think my most popular is the fresh lemon royal icing, which is made with freshly squeezed lemon juice. I do provide some substitutes for the fresh lemons. There's only one thing that I kind of liked, and it's included in that post on my blog. So all you have to do is go on the blog, hanielas.com, and into the search, you can type fresh lemon royal icing, and you should be able to find that recipe. You can use aquafaba. I also have vegan version of royal icing. Now, before you do the handle, the cup itself needs to be crusted. The icing needs to crust, okay? Otherwise, the handle will just become part of the cup. But if you want to have some definition, it needs to be crusted. Oh, Heather is already thinking about the weekend. Well, this could be high soup. Yeah, I guess it could be a beer mug if you are into beer. But right now we are making a coffee mug. But I guess it does look like a beer mug. Okay, yeah, I can see that now. I can see that now. But yeah, so that means you could also make a beer out of these templates. Now I'm going to create a speckled kind of pattern. For this, I'm using black airbrush color. So I'm just adding a drop onto the parchment. You want to use food only paintbrush, dip the bristles in this, and then just protect your surface so you don't have anything around that would kind of be affected by this food coloring. And then use your scribe tool and run it through the bristles, and just hold the paintbrush above the transfers and let the magic happen. I was inspired with the metal cups, the metal coffee cups with the rim. I was inspired by that in this design, so that's why I created these. Okay, we're almost done with this step. This was really fun, I have to say. Booze, yes, I know, Jeremy. Well, you could put booze in coffee for all I know. You could put Baileys, or I think some people could. I don't know if you like maybe a rum or something. You could put, yes, enamelware. Thank you. Yes, I was inspired by those. So now I'm adding like a thick rim at the top with dark brown here. You could also use black, but I had brown, and it works really well. And the last step is nowadays I can't really drink much coffee, but when I was younger, I loved, and we here in Europe it was called Viennese coffee. That's coffee with whipped cream on the top. Oh, and that is so good. So now we're going to make whipped cream, and I'm using same icing I used on the cupcake swirl. Thank you, Sally. Ideas are really everywhere. They're just everywhere. Sometimes I wish I didn't see all the things in my head, because it just gets overwhelming, because I would like to make everything. And again, I'm using cinnamon, just adding some cinnamon on top here. You need to use obviously dry paintbrush and just dip it in cinnamon, and then just tap it over the icing. And that's how you can make these. Now, if you wanted to complicate things, you could also add another element, and those are wafer paper decorations. And these are cute little maple leaves that I made, and I will show you how to make them. They are super easy to make. They're made with a craft punch. They sell these mini craft punches in different designs, and this maple leaf is perfect for this. Maria, I usually draw these, and then I kind of work with them in a software to make them more polished. Hi, Karen. You're still in. I'm so. Oh my gosh! Thank you for joining. Hello, hello. Enjoy your time and your vacation. Hope your weather is good and you're having a wonderful time. Okay, so let me bring up my camera here so I can show you how to remove them, and we will also make. Okay, let's do a little camera lens. Okay, this is a little dark, so let me bring this up a little bit. Okay, so like I was telling you about, this is a craft punch. You see how small this is? I have another one here. I have several of these. These are very inexpensive. I included a link in a PDF. So you can see, where is it? You can see here on the tools. It also says mini wafer paper punch, and you can check it out. They have different styles, different designs, and you can use that in cookie decorating. In a PDF in my coffee shop, there is also a link to my ultimate guide to royal icing transfers, which I highly recommend if you haven't made transfers and are still kind of wondering what they are and how to make them, and if you have some extra questions that I didn't get to answer. Thank you, Denise, first timer. I'm so happy you are here. So if this is your if this is your first time here, let me just grab the link to the template so you can check it out, and you can also sign up for the free newsletter that I send before the live streams and also after for the recap. Okay, let me see. Okay, this question. Can the templates be used with the UV? I don't know. I have no idea. What are you trying to make? No idea. Finally, I'm back. So glad to see you. Okay, so let me just, okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. So these are the craft punches. You see how tiny these are, very small. This is an apple. I also have a heart and a flower and different things. Yeah. Okay, so these are the wafer papers. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have these colored ones, but I wasn't able to find these colored ones. So if you want to make the colored ones, you just gonna have to get the white one and color it. You can find different techniques on how to color wafer paper, and then use your punch. And it's just easy as, it's like, it's cutting through paper. Okay, so this is how, and you see how tiny these are. Maybe somebody can, I don't know, somebody can, let's see, there was another question I wanted to address, but I don't know. Yeah, if I missed your question, please post it again. Sorry. I've seen few that I wanted to answer, but I didn't get to them. Okay. And now let me just put this away, and I'll show you my transfers and how to remove them. Yeah, there's I understand this, Judy. I understand completely, because it's something that if you're not familiar with it, you don't know how to. Oh, you mean the, okay. Well, I guess I guess you will have to try. I have no experience with UV resin. Sorry, I can't really give you a solid answer for this, Ivy. I apologize, but I have no experience with the UV resin. Okay, let's see. This is also a good question. Thank you, Jeremy. So let me bring this up. I guess I don't know what I assume it's something clear, right? Because resin, I assume it's like something that in my mind it's the flooring that my cousin has. But I may be totally wrong. I don't know. Sorry. All right. So here are the transfers. I got them here. So let me just move this, and so you can see these are the acorns. Oops. And you can simply remove them like this. Very easy. You see they're coming off. Or you could, oh, see this broke. So that's why I was telling you it's totally optional. If you don't do the stem, you can do the stem later. Oh, that's epoxy. Yes, it's called epoxy. Sorry, that's the plastic. Not all that edible. So I mean, you can, but it won't be food anymore. Yeah. So I guess I'm very yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy. I'm like in my. I was thinking about epoxy. Yes. I thought that would be something like that, but maybe I'm wrong. You can also use a palette knife, or you could keep the transfers on your transfer sheet. Okay. Here are the mushrooms. Let me just quickly show you what they look like and the size. You see how small these are? Very cute. Aren't they adorable? Then we also have, let's do these. Coffee mugs. Very cute. Here are the cupcakes. And I actually can show you. So this was, I told you, I lied. I told you that I didn't finish the experiment, but this is the experiment I did with, I had mini liners and I cut them up and I used them on wet icing to create this cupcake line texture design. I love it. It's really, really cool. It's an extra step and you have to wait for the icing to completely dry before you can remove the paper. So if you don't have that much time for this, you will have to kind of just maybe use this design instead. But these are adorable. And here are, and I think maybe these are your favorites, guys. So here are the paper. Oops, and some of these are really flying off. So on these, you can see these ones I did with a marker. The sleeve is made with a marker. So you can also do that. And I just think these are adorable. Totally adorable, right? So let me put some of these, I'm gonna set these aside here and just quickly show you how I have them here in these cups. These are some plastic containers. I bought these, there was spice initially in these. And so I have them here. It's like a plastic thingy that you make and put things in. It dries hard and you can, oh, I see. Oh, I see what you mean now. I guess it depends on how well you can use it and pipe with it. Then you should be able to use it. But like I just said, I don't have any experience. Is that what they use for the for the pins and stuff when you make like homemade pins and different things? So here I have some of these. I also made these are like whole beanie hats, which are really cute. And for these, I use mostly markers to finish all the details and to get like some knitting patterns on these. And I have lined these with food wrap here. You can see, so it's a bit softer. You can also use paper. So let me just take some of these out so we have them on a table here. You can see all these lovely transfers and their kind of sizes. Here are the acorns. For these acorns, you can see they're slightly different. These ones, I use sanding sugar on the cap. Okay, and then let's add a few mushrooms. And you can tell me what as I'm doing this, which ones are your favorites and maybe why. Okay, So I think these are the ones we made today. So you can see these are quite small transfers, perfect for cookie decorating. You can make a bunch of these and have them ready for your fall projects. You could use these on gingerbread houses and so on. So as a reminder, as always, you have a PDF available that you guys can check out with all the tools and so on, and it's available in the coffee. And if you'd like to learn more about cookie decorating and want to join my subscription club on Patreon, you can also do that. I share monthly tutorials there for all the patrons there. So if you are a patron, thank you for supporting Aniela's. And I will be coming live again next week on Wednesday. So thank you so much. And until then, have a great one. Bye, everyone.